Umrah should not cost you thousands of dollars, okay? This is something you can do on your own, all right? And I'm gonna show you how. But before we get into it, I do want you to keep in mind that I am making this video to let you know the things that you're probably researching and don't know about. But I am not the one to tell you how to perform Umrah. Clearly, I'm not a religious person, okay? I just so happened to find myself in Saudi, in Jeddah, and figured, let me see if I can get into Mecca. Let me see if I can get into Haram Masjid. Let me see if I can, because from what I'm researching online, I need a visa, I need vaccines, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go, and if I am let in, I'm going to perform. And I'm gonna obviously, we're not gonna get into the technicalities of the Umrah process, like I said, but obviously I was prepared from the beginning, acting as if I was going to perform it. And then if I wasn't able to, it just wasn't gonna happen. But that's a different story. So let's get into things. The first main thing is the visas, okay? Now, I can only speak on American visas because I'm an American. You can get a visa on arrival, and I highly suggest you do that, because if you do it online, you risk making a mistake and you risk losing your money. So for that reason, I always suggest, if you have a passport that allows you to get a visa on arrival, that you should just wait and do it on arrival. One of the biggest mistakes, just so you guys know, that people make with e-visas is when you're American and they ask you for your birthday in Saudi, they want you to put the day, then the month, then the year. But being American, we put the month, we put the month first, then the day, then the year. And that in itself will get you rejected. So keep those things in mind as you're traveling, my fellow American friends. We are the only ones that do things differently. Anyways, besides that, the visa is $105. Now let's talk just for a quick second about this, because many people get so confused with the visa rules of Saudi. You have a 90-day visa, okay? You can go in and out multiple times within 1 year from when the visa was stamped, okay? 90 days for a year. You cannot spend 90 days in Saudi and then leave for 2, 3 days, a week, a month, whatever, and come back and have another 90 days. That's not how it works. You have 90 days in a full calendar year from when your visa got stamped or your passport got stamped. All right, next up, vaccines and proof of being Muslim. I wasn't asked for either one of these. And to be honest, even if they were to ask, I don't know how they would do that. The place is so packed, people going in and out nonstop 24 hours a day. Like, how are you gonna control who you've seen and who you haven't seen? So vaccines and proof of being Muslim kind of don't exist. Now, if you're coming strictly to Saudi to perform Umrah, you are more than likely going to be flying into the Jeddah airport. Now, to get from Jeddah to Mecca, it's very simple from the airport itself. There's buses and there's trains. The bus will run you about $10 per ticket. A train will be between $25 to $80 per ticket, depending if you want business class. Now, if you get business class, you will have access to a business class lounge, but I don't know if it's fully worth it. It has some drinks and some cookies, crackers, what have you. Nothing crazy. Nothing like an airport lounge, okay? But yeah, so those are your options for getting to Mecca. Now, if you are more than 3 or 4 people, it might make more sense to take a taxi. The prices I've seen were literally from $30 to $50 one way to get from Jeddah to Mecca, and it's about an hour drive. So $50-ish is not so bad in my eyes. Now, once you arrive in Mecca, you will see the herds of people walking towards the masjid. And you'll also see signs. On your way to the masjid, you will find lots of vendors that are passing out fresh cold water, and it's free. Don't you worry, we're gonna try to keep you hydrated. The closer you get to the masjid, you're gonna start seeing the people that are offering Zamzam water. Now, from what I remember, the Zamzam water that was closer to the streets was warm. But once you went inside the masjid itself, they did have cold Zamzam water. And although it does say not to fill up any bottles or what have you, there's many people in there just filling up all types of different things, and nobody says anything to them. So I guess that's okay, right? So you're gonna get some water, you're gonna get Zamzam water, you're gonna feel refreshed. Now to find your way to the Kaaba, that's a whole mission. So what I'm gonna tell you is to find your way to gate 79. Gate 79 will give you a straight path. You just walk straight, follow the lines and the borders, and you are going to find yourself in front of the Kaaba, and you're gonna be like, wow, this is so beautiful. I cannot believe I am here right now. Next thing to keep in mind is that once you pass any of the gates, there will not be any bathrooms, okay? Bathrooms will all be behind you, so make sure you use the bathroom before you cross any of the gates, please. And if you're there on a Friday, be ready for it to be extremely busy. But yeah, so there is wudu stations where you can make wudu inside of the masjids for sure, but bathrooms are all outside of the gates. Now, with that being said, I want you to really, really pay attention to where you are during prayer times, or maybe a half hour to an hour before prayer time, because I got stuck so many times in certain places because I wasn't prepared by this. And maybe because I went on a Friday. I didn't tell you guys when I went. I went on the last Friday of 2024, so like about 2 months ago. And it rained twice. Rained in the day, rained at night. Crazy. And I had no intention of being there, so I was like, damn, God really called me here. But anyway, so my point is, when it comes to prayer time, you can really be stuck somewhere. And I got stuck somewhere, and I didn't have wudu done, and I couldn't leave the barriers. Once the barriers are set up, they're like, nope, this is where it's at for prayer, and we're done. You cannot leave, enter, go in and out. So just be mindful of that. The last thing I'm gonna mention is the fact that there are thieves there, okay? Now, when it was time for me to walk around the Kaaba, I did notice that people were holding their shoes in bags. So I actually left again, got a bag, and I put my shoes in it. I didn't feel comfortable walking around the Kaaba with my dirty shoes in my hand, even if they were in a bag, and even if other people were doing it. I felt like that was wrong. So I put my bag on the floor by other women that were praying, and there was Zamzam water and whatever, and I had my selfie stick in it. So there was just like a grocery bag with my shoes and a selfie stick, and I put it aside. I went and I did my Kaaba walks, I did my prayers, and then I came back and I could not find my shoes. So when I asked about them, everyone said, how long has it been? And they probably threw them away. Mind you, these were white Air Forces, so if you know, you know. But as much as everyone said they probably threw them away, they probably threw them away because they're taught to just clean up everything and throw it away. I kind of find that hard to believe. I want to believe someone stole them. I want to believe that someone needed them and is using them. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just like to assume that someone stole them and they're not in the garbage, because that's what makes the most sense to me. I hope someone is using them and walking around in them. I hope so, please. But yeah, so those are like my top things. Be mindful of your stuff. Be mindful of where you are, because there are, now that you know that they don't check if you're Muslim or not, the people can really just go there and try to ruin your experience. So let's be honest. But either way, Umrah shouldn't be costing you the amounts that you are being shown. You do Umrah on your own. It's in a masjid. Just like you'd walk into any other masjid, you could walk into this masjid. And you do what you need to do. There are guides all over the internet. There's apps that you can download that will make your Umrah process much easier. Again, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I just want to give you the gist so you know when you go what to expect. Now, one last thing I'm going to leave you guys with before we close this out is, if you want to touch the Kaaba or the black stone, you're in for a treat, okay? You're going to be fought, you're going to be pushed and shoved, and scents are not the best, so just keep that in mind. But either way, I hope this video helps you guys to get you to Umrah at a cheaper cost, and just know you don't got to pay that much.